Here's the issue that I have with this year. There's too much gosh darn good TV. What the heck? Hello everyone. If you thought I had too many movies that I loved that I couldn't contain, it was hard to nail it down to 5. This video, this was like impossible, like narrowing it down to 5, but I've done my best. I'm gonna apologize to all the amazing contenders that didn't make it. They were amazing and still deserve your love and praise. I will be doing an extended cut for members because there's too many good shows that I love that I'm sad that I'm not mentioning. But we're gonna talk about my top 5, and starting off at number 5 is actually probably one of the hottest things that I've watched this year. That's right, we're starting off with one of the best, even though it's number 5. That's Dandadan, or Dandadan. I think that's how we're supposed to say it. Dandadan. So Dandadan is an anime that you can find on Netflix and Crunchyroll. I'm gonna start off by saying that because I get a lot of questions about where you can find it, where you can watch it. So just so you know, that's where you can find it, that's where you can watch it, okay? It is phenomenal. And why is it phenomenal? Well, not only is it visually spectacular, I mean, the animation in this show is just wow-a-wee-wah. The intro in this show, I don't even know how we're gonna top it in season 2. How could it get better than this? Because this was the best I've ever had. This was like a spiritual experience for me watching this intro. I am sad every Thursday because it means I'm not watching this intro because the show is done. Well, season 1 is done. Also, the ending for this. I'm not gonna spoil anything with these, but I'm just gonna say the way this show ended, I hope I don't have to wait too long for season 2 because I need to read the manga. That's what I need to do. I'm just gonna probably have to read the manga because I need to know. I need to know what happens next. Why is this show great? It's great because it's mixing a slice of life with just supernatural weirdness and aliens. And it's got aliens, it's got spirits, and it's got just like a cute little like love story, basically. All of that in one. Basically, I am a big fan of Spy Family, so it does not surprise me that I love Dandadan as much as I do. Spy Family is kind of doing a similar thing, so if you like Dandadan and you haven't watched Spy Family yet, stop what you're doing, go watch Spy Family. It's more of a spy drama with slice of life, but this is once again a cool blend show. I mean, it's also not just that the animation is amazing, that it's a weird combination of cool things that I like. It's also these characters, which are super relatable. It's also the emotional stuff. It really hits you in the feels. The voice acting is insane. Like, the fact that Turbo Granny is also the woman that voices Luffy is insane. Apparently, she also specifically requested this character after like reading the manga. She was like, I need to play this character. It's crazy. It's crazy what we're dealing with here. The levels, there are many levels. Also the fact that there's a character called Turbo Granny. Yes, you heard that right. But the fight scenes are also amazing. Like, just every element of this show feels like it's turned up all the way to 11. So if you haven't watched Dandadan yet, clearly, I recommend it. Next up, we've got Squid Game Season 2. Now, Squid Game was a show that I was very highly anticipating. I loved Season 1, and I just didn't know how we could even top that. I wasn't even sure how I felt initially about the fact that they were going to do a Season 2, just because Season 1 felt like such a complete story. So to hear they were coming back, I was just curious as to what they were going to do with it, because I felt like they kind of said all they needed to say. And then Season 2 arrived, and I was like, oh no, they got more to say. They got more to say about this. And it went to unexpected places. I never knew what was going to happen in Season 2. At no point did I ever know what was going on or what would happen. It just is on another level of television, honestly, than I've seen. And you know what's interesting, actually? I'm just gonna acknowledge this. No, I'll acknowledge this when we get later. This is gonna connect to my 2 point, so hold on for that. But it's an amazing series. It's fantastic. It keeps you guessing. The drama, the way that it's shot, it pulls you in, and the acting is like on another plane. Like, if I got to be in Squid Game, I would be so honored. If they needed, look, I've watched a lot of K-dramas. Squid Game is a drama and is Korean. I wouldn't say it's quite a K-drama, obviously. I would never say that. But in K-dramas, you know, they tend to have that one Canadian friend, you know, they go to Canada, or they like have a Canadian friend that comes and visits them. And I'm just gonna put this out there, Squid Game, Netflix, if you need someone to be a Canadian friend in Squid Game, if you need a Canadian contestant in the games, look no further than me. I would happily be that actor for you, because this show, it's just an honor to be in it. Even if I was just an extra in this show, I'd be so honored to be around the talent that they have on that set. We also got this new guy who's only in the beginning. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys about season 2 if you haven't watched it yet. It's all dropped on Netflix at once. Boom. And I'm going to be doing a review video on it where I will be talking spoilers. But I'll just say, in the beginning, there was the recruiter who we get to meet. Man, I miss that guy. That guy's awesome. That guy is my favorite character in this show now. And we only got him for a bit, but he's fantastic. Who is that actor that plays him, the recruiter? So Gong Yu is the one that plays the recruiter, and my apologies if I'm not saying that correctly. He also apparently almost wasn't even in Squid Game. I just found out this is a thing. He was invited to be in Squid Game, and he was really busy, so he refused initially. And I'm just so glad that we actually got him in here, because he's amazing. Like, seriously, like, wow, talent. So I can't say enough about Squid Game, and the one thing that I am upset about is that I have to wait so long for season 3, because yeah, there's gonna be a season 3, but I think that'll be the end. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be bittersweet for this show to end, but I like that they're just here to tell a story that they want to tell, and then that'll be that. I hope. Although, you know, it's always tempting to get that money. Then, of course, we have, would it be an Amanda list without something comics? We have The Penguin coming in at my number 3 spot here. So The Penguin, if you haven't seen this show, and I know some people missed out on it, and some people like didn't even think that it was going to be good, is maybe the best superhero show I've ever seen. And maybe it's also because it's not exactly a superhero show. It really is kind of a crime drama. Like, if you're thinking HBO, I would definitely say you could be getting some Sopranos vibes from this show. But it also doesn't shy away from the fact that it is, you know, set in the Batman universe. It is in Gotham, and there are still these very Gotham-based elements to the series that are at play. It's cool because it just feels like a grounded Gotham series based around the Penguin, and it really is a great character study on our version of the Penguin in the Batman universe. I feel like Oz as a character has so many more layers than I would have ever expected to get. Not only that, but of course, it has my lady love, Sophia. Sophia Falcone is in this, and I wasn't really sure what role she would have. She's a major part in it, and the way that they showed us this character, the way that we get to get into her head and really also get a character study on her, is just another reason you should watch this series. It also brings Gotham to life in a way that I really value and appreciate, where Gotham, once again, basically feels like it's another character in the story, much like I felt when I watched The Batman, because this is also set in the same universe as Matt Reeves' universe, but they also spent a long time really working and developing this script, which is another reason why I think it just feels so right. It's so connected to stuff, but also isn't afraid to say its own things separate from everything else that happened in The Batman. And I can't wait to see how it leads into The Batman whenever we get the second one, whenever they're done with that script, which, although I appreciate that they're taking their time with that script, because then I know it's gonna be really good, I'm also like, please give it to me before I die. Please. I know you're taking your time, but please, I need it. So if you haven't watched The Penguin, do yourself a favor. Go watch it. You will be amazed. You will be astounded. You will never know where that show is going to go either, which is also why I loved it. Shows that keep me on my toes. That's what I like. Next up, in my number 2 spot, we have Shogun. And this is one thing that I wanted to comment on. The fact that so many of the shows that are in my top 5 actually are, you know, Asian sort of based shows. Like, we've got Dandadan, which is an anime based on a manga. We've got Squid Game, which is Korean. And we've got Shogun, which is set in Japan. I believe, I'm not super familiar with Japanese history, so pardon me, but I believe it's based around the time of feudal Japan, or just after, when everything started to actually become more united in Japan. It also is not following a historical exact story, but instead is inspired by historical figures, real historical figures, but you know, then gives them more freedom to kind of play around with what really happened, because they don't have to go like, this is historical. Shogun is also based on a book, and I do want to also read the book after watching it, because this was very good. Very good. Speaking of shows where I don't know what's going to happen, once again, another one where I never really knew what was going on at any point. And the revelation in this, when you finally get to the end of the show, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but just some of the revelations you're gonna have in that final episode is mind-blowing. Not only that, but even though I was very tempted to have the Penguin in my number 2 spot, because the Penguin was just such an amazing experience for me, I had to put Shogun above it, just because the attention to detail that we have with a lot of these beautiful costumes, and also the locations. As much as I love Gotham, and as much as I actually feel the costumes in the Penguin are exceptionally well done, the fact that this is a period piece kind of just raises the bar a little bit. But honestly, I would say Shogun and the Penguin were very much close for that number 2 spot. I'm sad to actually have to put one above the other, because they're both so good. But if you haven't watched Shogun, do yourself a favor. Go watch Shogun. It took me a long time to actually finish it, I will say, but that wasn't because I didn't love it. It was just because I got distracted by a bunch of other things. And Shogun isn't really nerdy or anything. I mean, I haven't done any videos on it on my channel. I did just finish it recently, so if you guys do want to hear me talk more in depth with a review about it where I actually get into spoilers, let me know, because I'd love to talk about it more, but I just don't know if people are here for that. So let me know. And my number 1 spot, of course, you may have guessed what it is. You may have also looked at the time codes, you cheater. But it is X-Men 97. Of course, it had to be X-Men 97. Hello, this is my channel. It's Amanda. Of course, I love X-Men. And X-Men, the animated series, was very special for me. It really is one of my first loves in terms of the superhero world, and was really when I found my connection to heroes. And I think through X-Men and mutants, I've really felt the most connected to them. I really feel like that those are my like people in the superhero world. If I were a superhero, I think I would be a mutant. I've always just felt a kinship to them. I mean, also some of my first crushes ever in the animated universe, Jubilee and Rogue, loved them from day one, from the day that I set eyes on them. Still love both of them. So X-Men 97 had a lot of anticipation going in. I was very nervous. I was very worried it was not going to be good, because I have my love of the original series, and it exceeded my expectations. I feel like it really elevated the original animated series, adding to it, but not disrespecting or taking away from any of the achievements of the original show. I think it was so cleverly crafted. The writing in it is just so well done, and the drama, the unexpected nature of things, and yet riding that very perfect line between kind of these characters that we know and love and kind of know what to expect with them, but then also giving us a few twists and a few surprises along the way. It's not easy to do something like that. And when there's that much pressure on you, the fact that this show is able to come out and just blow my mind, I think is impressive. The way that the powers are approached. Now, I talked about, when I did my What If Season 3 review, I kind of talked about in the ending of that, my issues with the way powers were used and dealt with, power scaling. And one of the things that I want to say in regards to that, because some people were disagreeing with me on that point, which is totally fine. Of course, you're entitled to your opinion as well. And if you loved What If Season 3, I love that for you. But with X-Men 97, the reason why I feel like this is a show that handled stuff like that a lot better is because it made very specific choices. There is a lot of intention behind the way people use their powers. Not only that, but it's creative with how people use their powers. And we also get to see a lot of synergy between the team. It really is a team-based show and gets to show us some really great moments of teamwork work with the X-Men, which is really what the X-Men is all about, is being there for each other, this sense of found family and this sense of working together as a team. It's what makes them so strong as a group. So just on all levels, I felt like the show was amazing. I was initially nervous about the animation, and in the end, I was astounded by the animation. I was initially nervous about the fact that we weren't going to have, obviously, all of the original cast, some of whom we obviously couldn't have. There was nothing for me to be worried about. I thought everyone did such an amazing job. Lenore Zan being a standout performance for me in the series, and who I can't wait to see return for season 2. And I can't wait to see what season 2 holds. I'm a little nervous, but I'm still really excited. So we'll see. So that's it for me, friends. There's so much TV that I want to talk about. I can't even begin. So we'll talk about more of it in the extended cut, which I will have up for members soon. But I also want to give a little honorable mention to Arcane season 2, which was phenomenal and blew my mind as well. I just didn't have enough space on this list for it. So just a little love to Arcane, which I think is some of the best animation I've ever seen in my life. So there's that. And also just as someone who loves League of Legends, even though I don't play it on stream, this is a show that I cannot wait to see where it takes us next in terms of the League of Legends world and what the next chapter will be. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite shows down in the comments. What were you loving? What were you not loving? And I will probably be back with a kind of like worst of list. Although to be fair with you, like, I don't even know. There was really only one show that I thought was awful, and then the rest were just kind of like, meh, especially in comparison to just some of these heavy hitters we got this year. That's it for me, friends. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay nerdy. Bye! Oh, and watch whatever this is on the screen. This thing. Whatever this thing is. This thing, you gotta watch it. It's really good. I would endorse it heavily.